The wind, it's been here since the beginning. It's powerful. It's full of energy. The wind, it can spin something as small as this, or something as great as that. The wind, it's been harnessed for centuries to move sailboats and windmills to grind corn and grain. It's also been used out on the west to pump water through aeromotors, the old windmills. But now we have these here, these great wind turbines. These wind turbines here generate 1.65 megawatts of power each. And there's over 200 wind turbines on this wind farm here. Produces hundreds and hundreds of megawatts of power every year. Powers many homes, thousands. We're going to go take a look at a small project to give you just a basic idea of how it all works. We've got a project here. We're gonna demonstrate and explain a very basic wind turbine generation to the power grid to your house. What we have here is a very basic model. Built this in a wind class at DACC, and what we have here is a wind turbine that is actually convertible from a vertical shaft to a horizontal shaft wind turbine. There's both kinds in the world, but the most common, what you're going to see, is a horizontal shaft, such as this one right here. And what we have is an old bicycle generator. Maybe some of you remember those. A fan off of an old air conditioning unit. This is your basic wind turbine, and it's actually wired to this right here, and this cap here represents a substation. And what happens is the generator here begins to generate electricity, but it's raw electricity, and what happens between the generator and the substation is the power is converted. It's converted a number of times in order to match the frequency, and it's also cleaned up so that it can go to a substation, and from the substation it's actually it's held in place until it can be used, and then brought onto the power grid that actually is attached to all the electricity in the United States. So you have the generator, it's wired to the substation. There's all kinds of things going on before we even get to the substation, but we're not going to explain that today. But this is basically your substation, and here's your power lines that will take it to your house. And what we have right here is a small LED light, and when we're going to use a fan to spin our wind turbine and generate electricity, and you will actually see it light up right here. But we got to have a wind source, and we're not outside, so we're going to use a fan just to replicate wind. So what we're going to do is set this up, and it'll take a few moments, and we'll be turning off the light so you can see a little bit better. Okay, well, I think we're getting up to speed now. If you look over here, you can see the LED is beginning to light up, and you can see it flicker. And they have flicker, something that's called flicker, when they generate electricity, even on the big ones. And that's an issue they have to deal with, and they're doing a very good job. One thing I want to mention is the fact that we had to spin this fan as fast as we did. And if you've seen the wind farms, you see that those blades, they don't seem to be going really fast, but you have to bear in mind that there is a generator inside the top of the wind turbine, which is called the nacelle. That's the top piece, the top part of the wind turbine, and within that nacelle there is a gearbox that steps up the RPMs, or the speed of the shaft that's spinning, from the speed that you see the wind turbines going around slowly, all the way up to 1800 RPMs, which the generators inside the nacelle, they need to be spinning at 1800 RPMs in order to generate a good power. So we don't have a gearbox here. This is direct, so this really is a pretty good simulation of what actually takes place with wind turbines and getting power to your home.